Gentlemen,
Howdy.
what is the good word? You guys ready to rock on a Friday?
Ready to go.
We're looking at another rain event coming up the Gulf, headed for the Gulf Coast again this week. It's gonna be nuts. Damn it. Hey, Brandon, I'm gonna have to call you in a couple hours. Everything good, or do you just want to check in? Or okay. Good. Oh, 1,500 a week. What's that put us a night? Yeah, so he's got good. Well, if we get into some more work, that could be really nice. He's got power and water and all that. Are we going to have to go through Airbnb, or we're going to do it private party? Perfect. Okay. So he's going to need $1,500 up front. Okay. All right. All right. I'll be thinking about it. Yeah, I've got this class starting right now for the next 2 hours. So, all right. See you, man. Bye. Ish. Deploying to hurricanes is expensive. Where is everybody?
Is it worth it though?
It can be. It can be. You just got to be super careful. Got to make sure everything's in writing. Make sure you're getting deposits up front. Because people will go into you. You know, they'll want. You know, I had a guy today say, I need this. I need these 2 estimates by Sunday, but I need 45-day terms. And I'm going to have to respond back to him and say, you can have one or the other. we're not going to bend over backwards and do backflips and then wait 45 days to get paid. That's just not how I operate. But yeah, it's a mess down there. I think it's going to be good. But $1,500 a week for an Airbnb, I mean, I guess it could be worse. Yeah, the worst case scenario for me is we get ourselves obligated to all these expenses, and then we don't get another job, and that would suck.
What do you prefer, the fire claims or the storms, Andy?
Say that again.
What do you prefer, the fire claims or the hurricanes?
Oh shoot, I'll take all kinds of claims. Fire is in a lot of ways easier and less urgent. The problem with hurricane is everyone wants it done yesterday, and it's just the scale of it. Usually with fire, you got time. I mean, the damage is done. I mean, there's no real rush, so you can take your time and get through it. My lighting feels off today. You guys got any questions from yesterday or the day before?
Nope.
I'm going to get Xactimate open here. I'm going to bring everybody in. So we can have a quick touch base, and then I'll kick you all back out and we'll get going. Mm-hmm. How is the timing of this? If you were to do this course again, would you want 6 hours on one day to get it over with, or is splitting this up over 3 days a little bit more digestible? That was my thought. It's just going to be easier for someone to break off a couple days, a couple hours over 3 days. But yeah, you guys tell me, because I'm not opposed to just setting aside an entire day and getting it done, but it's going to make for a long day.
To me, the 2 hours is best.
Good.
You're able to catch up with work and, still be able to get into Zoom, get your notes together and be back the next day. Good. But if it's like a full day, then it will have to be planned like a full Friday or maybe like a Saturday. I don't know how everybody's with their businesses and stuff. But to me, the 2 hours were perfect. Well, if I was going to do this in person, which I'm debating whether or not to go find a space here in town and then have people fly in, it would be a day, probably a day and a half, be way more immersive, but that's way more of a, that's just more of a cost and everything else for everyone involved. I would prefer to do one like that. If that was the case, like a full day and fly in or whatever. And I mean, to me, that works better. Okay. One-on-one, more questions. It's more like, you're there. We got you there. Right. Right. Yeah, I can't run away. I was thinking, since Bend is such a playground, we could do a day and a half course and offer a day on the mountain or a half day on the mountain before or after or during, or break off a half day and go out, get the mountain bikes on the trails, depending on time of year. Make it more of an event. That's exciting. I think so. That's why I live here. Bring your drones. Everybody can bring their drones. We could do a half day of drones. Yeah, we could do some. We could play with the drones and
Try not to wreck them. Okay, we got 2 minutes. Not near as many people here today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then my next question would be, how would you price something like that? I think the expectation is, with meals and a meeting place and refreshments, that's going to be a bigger ticket item. What are Xactimate courses run nowadays for in person? Are they 1,500 for a couple days? I'm
I
not in
have
the
never
market.
been able to be involved in one, but I've done other seminars. I think price is only an issue in absence of value. You
I
know,
like it.
and I mean, what you got to bring on the table for us, I mean, anybody can get, the money back in the first claim. I mean, it's
Right.
it's just what we're getting, the knowledge that we're getting, and having you there explaining everything, all the tricks. And I mean, to me, price is really not the issue. It's just me getting there and just suck your brain as much as I can.
Yeah. And the in-person class, that's what you're paying for that. You're paying for that one-on that, it's not one-on-one, obviously, you got a class full of people, but still you're not constricted with time. You're able to communicate better. I mean, I could have my whiteboard and I talk with my hands and whiteboard. So I think I could communicate a whole lot more value in the same amount of time. So, all right, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it a winter class. So maybe a January class. So I know there's going to be snow on the mountain. So we can do that. I know a lot of people like to go to the, what's that Xactware conference? Accelerate, I think. And they go skiing while they're there.
Count me in. I'm in.
All right, good. All right, I got one. That's all I needed. That's all the excuse I needed. I'm gonna make it happen. We're contractors, right? So we're tactile. We operate in a physical world, and all this virtual stuff. We lose some context. We don't learn as much, I don't think, unless we're in person together. Plus we get camaraderie. We get to commiserate and have some beers and make a little vacation out of it. All right. Well, we're 2 minutes past. We got 8 people here. 8 out of 16. Huh.
It's Friday.
It's Friday. Well, yeah, I could take it one of two ways. One way is they saw 2 days and said, fuck it, this ain't worth it. Or they got so much value out of the first 2 days. They said, I've learned enough. Thank you, Andy. I'm out. I'll take the second.
Or they're out enjoying happy hour.
Or they're out enjoying happy hour. Yes.
We've got 2 people on the same computer, so make it 9.
There we go. All right. I don't feel as bad. Part of me worries that, did I not send the link out to everyone? Is someone out there waiting and, crying that you're not getting in? Speaking of, let me open my email once real quick to make sure.
I mean, I didn't get an email today if you resent it. I got one yesterday that was resent.
Yeah, we didn't send one today. We sent one, we resent yesterday just to make sure. Okay. I got nothing but new claims. Oh my God. You got to be careful what you ask for. Things got busy around here. All right. We're going to open the floor. Before we hit record and get going here, anything we haven't covered that you want to make sure we cover today, or questions on the content over the last couple of days?
I guess I just have a question on when will we get the email with, the links to these classes if we want to revisit them?
Next week.
Okay.
I think, I'll have time. That'll give me time to, because I don't want to just post them in their raw version. I want to, cut out the break periods and things like that. I mean, conceivably, I could send you the links as soon as I'm going to do it as soon as possible. How about that? As soon as humanly possible.
Much appreciated.
Do you have the link to all the content? The
Yeah, I downloaded all of your files.
Okay. And we should touch on how to install those macros today. In another word of caution when we do that.
You mean install into Xactimate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be in Xactimate all day today, so we need to cover that.
You send the micros on an email, Andy?
Excuse me, they're in the Google Drive folder. I sent a link.
Oh, okay.
Okay, 5 minutes passed. I'm going to kick everyone out. Remove permission. Remove permission. There's probably an automatic way to do this, or people don't use this the same way I'm trying to use it, but whatever. You know what I was really trying to avoid is, you ever taken those webinars where they say it's live, but it really isn't? It's pre-recorded, and it's something like this, pre-recorded, and they say it's live, and you get into the room and you realize you can't interact at all because it was recorded 4 months ago. That's what I was really trying to get away from. I hate that. It's just, I think it's lying. I think it's deceptive marketing practices. Free webinar, live webinar, bullshit. Anyway, all right, rant over for now. I'm going to hit record and we are going to rock. Wait for a second. This is going live to YouTube, Claims Delegates YouTube channel. So the first day is not there. The second day is there live right now. So you can go review that today if you wanted. And this is obviously going live there. But here we are. Welcome to day number 3 of the Restoration Estimating Crash Course. I am Andy McCabe. And today we're actually going to use Xactimate. Finally, right? Finally, we get to use the program that we all came here to learn how to use. But it was very important we got in the right mindset on day 1 that Xactimate is just a tool. It's not a sales tool. It's just an estimate thing that we don't necessarily have to use. We use it to be just for convenience for the adjusters to do an apples to apples. And it's important that we have our scope written down before we open Xactimate, so we just have a chance to pick up as much detail, as much items as we can. So now we're going to jump in. We're going to open Xactimate, and we're going to enter the scope that we wrote down yesterday. See, I didn't print out the nice sheet, so it doesn't look pretty, but guess what? It's usable. There's front and back and my general conditions. So let's get to work. I'm going to open up the Matterport for Sutherland, and we will be rocking and rolling. Let me bring this over here, and I'm going to share, after I get that, share my screen. Boom. Let's get Xactimate open. I get a daily email from Xactware now telling me that I need to upgrade to X1. So after this class, I'm going to have to bite the bullet and do just that. We are going to start from scratch today. We are going to build a brand new estimate. We're not going to cheat and go with what's already built. We're going to do it from scratch. And we're just going to do the living room, kitchen, and that little cubby going down the stairs. And if we get that done, we can start at it. We'll add another room at the end, but I want to make sure we get through those 2 rooms at least to have a complete package. So let's see how the day goes. 2:09, we're going to break right about 3 and go from there. Let's get Sutherland up here. I'm going to turn the chat on to everyone. Hello. Okay, I'm going to put the scan for Sutherland in the chat. Sutherland. Share, copy. Okay, for those of you playing along at home, there's your link in the chat. Let's open this up and get to our room that we're looking at. You can change where this starts at. Like I would like to edit this to change my start point to there. So I don't have to do that, all that 30 seconds of bullshit. All right, here we go. We're in here. Boom. Okay, so we need to find our project intake sheet. I don't know what you guys call it, but you all have a sheet, a one-sheeter that has all the job information, right? Call it an intake sheet, call it a, I don't know what people call it. Oh, come on. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, I shut down Google Drive, hoping to save processing power. I thought I was being smart. I have to reopen Google Drive so all my links work. If you guys don't use Google Drive, I like the fact, so this is all my jobs that I've done. I don't know how many years of jobs are in here, but none of this data is here. It's all residing in the cloud. These are essentially just shortcuts to the cloud, and it saves drive space tremendously. Yeah, so ordinarily I need 2 terabytes, and I don't need 2 terabytes. Okay, where is Sutherland? Oh, it's in class resources. That's right. Let's do that. Apologize, I didn't have this open. Where is, oh man, I forgot where I put it. Document crash course. There it is. Class resources. There it is. Sutherland project. We're getting somewhere. Where is the scope? No, scoping. There we go. Not that one. Not that one. Oh man, I'm falling down today. Must be Friday. There it is. Sutherland scope. Okay, there's all the information I need to set up this job. So I'm going to open up here, decide what I'm going to call this thing. We're doing repairs. So I'm going to call it Sutherland STR. That's my structural repairs, STR1. I mentioned a couple of days ago, I like using the carrier profile. If you're doing program work, you can't do the carrier profile, and your assignments come via exact analysis, so you don't have to do this step. Okay, Sutherland STR1, add new project, and it should open it up. Boom. Okay. George. Sutherland. I'm going to breeze through some of this. 4, 3, 2, 1. You can see somewhere, Oregon. And then the zip, there was no zip in the Bahamas, so we're just going to use an Oregon zip code. Once I do this, it should ask me to install. Okay, when I go to the next screen, it's going to ask me what price list I want. But fill in as much of this as you can. Data loss, 531, 20, just for funsies. Date received, date inspected, less important, date contacted. That's all for program work. Not very important. If you have an adjuster, I like to put him as the claim rep. I'm just going to pick a guy that I already have in here for fun. You know, if you get any files, I get a ton of files. They come with these already attached. I like to add them just so I have them in here. I mean, you can see all these. These are all claim adjusters that came through on different files. This puts them on the first page of the estimate under claim rep. And then the estimator is going to be you. I'm going to choose me. I've got my own claims bend. If you don't have yourself set up, do it there. This is where you do it. You add yourself. Add, put in your stuff, blah, 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 blah. I always uncheck personal. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Don't worry about the company here. Just put your name, information, email stuff in there. Anything you want on that first page of the estimate. And then these under contractor, you can put yourself again. I'm going to put one of my clients. Let's put Rainbow, one of my clients. Don't worry about the claimant. I mean, you can, but these are not important stuff. So as soon as I go over here, it's going to ask me, zip code has been modified, update price list. Usually I say yes. Yes, please. And that's going to put the price list over here in parameters. So let's go check that first. If you're running a custom price list, this is where you change it. I'm going to go to the smart list here. This is pulling up all my 97127 price lists. I don't have a custom price list built. But if you wanted to run a custom price list, this is where it would go. You can also just do all price lists and force it to use, price lists from somewhere else. New York, I just did one. New York, there. I did that yesterday. Let's do that. Fine, let's use that price list. I don't know the tax jurisdiction, so when I don't know, I just leave it at 0. You can always supplement and bill your client for it after. But don't forget to bill your client if you live in a state with taxes. Oregon doesn't have sales tax. So company header, this is where your company header goes. Let's see, do I have a claims delegates header built? Once again, this is where you add a header. If you don't have one built already, you just put in, I'm going to put in claims delegates, claims D2, I'm assuming, put in your company name. This is where your address, phone, and, web address if you want, and, CCB number, whatever your header has. And then you put an image in, has to be a JPEG. Let's put a logo in, that one. Let's use that one. And boom. Once again, I don't know why they have personal there. I always uncheck it. And so there you have claims D2. I'm not going to use that because I already have one built here. Opening statement. You have a folder full of opening statements. The model opening statements. So I've got some go-tos that I usually use. Here's a complete structural opening statement. I need to clean up my opening statements. Have some intentionality. Let's just try this one. Let's see what it says. Opening statements are specific to profiles. So you can see this list of opening statements I have because I'm in the carrier profile in this estimate. If I open this job in the contractor profile, I will have a separate list of opening statements to choose from. If you want to use the same opening statement in both carrier and contractor profile, you have to install that. You have to install that opening statement twice. Let's say you have a good opening statement that you like, and it's in Word. All you have to do, I'm going to clear this opening statement out. No selection. So there's nothing in there. You edit this and let's go look for an opening statement. Class resources, Xactimate resources, opening statements. Okay, so these are the MOX is the extension for opening statements, but let's say you don't have that. I'm going to open another window here. And come back here. Claims delegates, Xactimate. Where's my opening statements? Xactimate opening statements. Some of these are MOXs. Some of these are Word files. Let's find Xactimate white paper. This is a Word file. I want to include this in my opening statement. There's a lot of, there we go. I'm just going to Control A to select everything, copy, come over here and paste. That's it. And you save it. And there's your opening statement. I don't like you. I use that as a closing statement usually, the overhead and profit wording. And that's in your class resources. You can review that later. But I'm going to do let's just do this one. And you can always edit it. You can see in this opening statement, I used the token company name, estimator name, company name again, insured state. And the other thing I have in here is I usually put the total in. I like showing the sum. Oh, there it is, sum grand total right there. Let me show you where that is. Here's the T right here, tokens, insert token. Spend some time, go through here. If it's a data point in the estimate that you can input, you can reference it here. But I use the sum grand total, just like that. Now it's in there twice. How important is opening statement? I don't know that anyone reads it, but I like having it there for the lawyers. I like having the I told you so. I told you what I was doing in all my paperwork. So that's why I like to use it. Adjusters just blatantly ignore it, pretend they didn't see it, but that's not my problem either. So you can see estimate of structural repairs, sum grand total. Let's look at what that looks like when we print this thing. I'm going to move my face over here. Print, view. And you can see right there, there's the sum grand total. And it brought in the company name, claims delegates. It brought in my name, the estimator. You know, that's why I love tokens. I like tokens. It mentioned This is a price list I'm using. Why am I using that price list? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Got to keep moving. We've got to get this thing done today. All right. Closing that out. You got your price list in. You got your opening statement defined. This is where you set overhead and profit. I advocate overhead O&P on everything. Realistically, this is 10 and 10 is not nearly enough. We just use 10 and 10 because it's harder to, it's just, we don't want to have the argument that that's not enough. We just build in our margins somewhere else. I don't generally mess with depreciation. I don't think it's the contractor's job to depreciate anything. And I resist anytime an adjuster asks me to depreciate it. And I said, that's not my job. I'm not estimating a depreciated repair. I'm estimating a full repair. So you do depreciation. You do you. I'll do me. I'm the contractor. I'm not going to mess around with depreciation. Coverage loss. Claim number, if you got it. Policy number, less important. Type of loss. It doesn't really matter for your purposes as a contractor, but it's nice for the adjuster to see it. Let's do hurricane damage. Policy dates. I don't generally fill any of this out unless I'm doing an appraisal or public adjusting. This is where you can, if you have a copy of the policy, you can put in the limits. And these coverages here are things you can specify when we write, and I'll show you those. And for your purposes, I don't know if I would mess with this either, but just for fun, let's just put some numbers in there. Come on. Contents, give me 250. And if I'm messing with coverages, one of the main things I always put in is ordinance or law. And I've got that in there a few times. Also known as code. Also known as code. I thought I had it under schedule something. Oh well. Code. Usually it's 10% of Schedule A, so it's 45.5. Okay. Oh, guess what I did? Totally forgot my notes. What did I say yesterday? I said, follow a plan, stick to the plan. I got so ahead of myself and excited to start the day that I didn't do that. Let's find our stick to the plan. Come on, where's stick to the plan? There it is. All right, print this out. There's a lot of stuff in here that may or may not apply to you, especially when it comes to a CRM. But number one, assignment data transfer. We didn't do that. It's not a program job. We could have if we wanted to. Locate your scope notes. I've got them right in front of me. Matterport, blah, blah, blah. I got Matterport up, ready to go. Label and rename photos. This one, we don't have a lot of photos because we're using Matterport. But if you did, this step was you would go into your files, you would find your photos and name them. You want to rename them before you go, try to input them into Xactimate. What is one I could do for fun? I like to do them by room. What's one I just did? I think it was Alexander. Let's go to Joanne Alexander. I think I just input this today. Okay, this is a roof claim. So you can see none of these are named. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to hold Control and select all these. I'm looking for siding. I'm going to hit F9. Oh, that doesn't work. Okay, I'm going to right click and I'm going to rename. Power rename. If you don't have Power Tools installed from Windows Power Tools, I invite you to do that. Here we go. We are going to replace with exterior damage. What? Okay. Oh, for crying out loud. This shouldn't be this hard. Maybe not power rename. Let's just do simple rename. There we go. So this is exterior damage. Yep, hit return and it renames all those. And now we're going to do soft metals. That's a gutter, that's a gutter, that's a gutter. That's fine. I'm just going to try to move faster here. Okay. Soft metals. And then we're going to mark our, just some of these. I'm going to say shingle damage. Perfect. All right, so I got them renamed. Sometimes I do exterior, I do them by room, living room, kitchen, blah, blah, blah. But that helps when you come into Xactimate and try to, it'll shortcut your process. Okay, so we labeled and renamed our photos. Assigned an estimator, we just did that, right? Our estimator is right there, me. Okay, apply deductible. If you want, deductible comes in here in parameters. Wait, coverage loss. There's, wait, there it is. Deductible, we got $1,000 deductible. That reduces your number by $1,000. So when you're billing, keep that in mind that you got to add your $1,000 back. You can't just take the grand total. Company header, we went through that. Opening statement, we just did that. Price list, we did that. O&P, O&P is under parameters. We set O&P. Okay, I'm going to move this over a little bit. Price list default is right here, this activity default. If you're doing a repair estimate after mitigation's already been done, AKA the demo, the removal of the items has already been done, you're only replacing, I like to set this default as plus. And let me show you the difference. I'm just going to come in here and we're going to do a DRY 1/2. And you can see the default action was remove and replace. Okay. That's fine. But we come back in here and change this to plus. We're only replacing. And come back here and estimate items and DRY 5/8. You can see this default action is plus. It'll just save you time, because if we are truly just going back with what was done in mitigation, the alternative is to come in here and change every single one of these to replace. which is a pain in the butt when you have hundreds of line items. Okay. All right. What's next? O&P, price list default, general conditions. I put my general conditions at the top. Some people put it at the bottom. I think they're trying to hide the general conditions and delay a conversation with an adjuster by doing that. So that's why I want to put it straight up front. I'm going to hit new. So I came here. This is the estimate items view. Right click, new. General conditions. Now, if you want to add more than one room, we click continuous add. Then I hit return, and I'm going to do exterior. And I'm going to do EMS, stuff that isn't going to go into a certain room. You can see I'm just pounding them down. Boom, 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 boom. When I'm done adding there, okay, add photos. This is where photos are, at least in Xactimate 28. I'm pretty sure it's pretty similar to X1. You just go here, this little clicker do, and load images is right here. Where was that file? That was Joanne, wasn't it? Joanne. And you can load them all. Let's just load them all. Some of them don't come through, so I just delete them. Xactimate is really bad with photos. And if they're too big, the photo's too big, it's going to choke on them. So that's what usually happens. So what you'll see right now, all of the images are in the unassigned folder. And I'm going to pull this down. I think I am out of order with the photos because we haven't generated any rooms. And if I had room photos, I would have nowhere to put them right now. So I think this stick to the plan needs to change a little bit. I think we need to move the photos a little bit further down in our process. But for now, we've definitely got exterior pictures. I'm going to select them all and move them over to exterior. And then whatever. And then you can choose. You can get the point. You just move them to where it makes the most sense and just organizes them better. When it's printed out in that order by room. Or you can just leave them there and let the adjuster sift through them. Yeah. F you dudes. Okay, there's your photos labeled by room. Photo report. That is a program activity. Before the completed assignment is sent, a photo report needs to be created. Okay. I think I can do that just for you guys. I think it's been so long since I did a photo report. I don't know where to do a photo report. I apologize. I wonder if it's in the print. Let's see, claim reports. Photo report, there it is. Okay, so let me back up and tell you how I got there. I went to print. I went to claim reports up top, and right here down is a photo report. Include estimate report, attach template. I don't know. And you export, I believe. Once again, this is for programs only. And I don't even know if they do that anymore, frankly. Honestly, I don't know. You guys tell me if you got to do photo reports anymore. Okay, so now, after all this, our file is set up. It says, step number 12, create the sketch. So let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, when we have access to these white papers and opening statements, yes, 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 yes. Okay, I need to pull another underlay image, don't I? Yes, I do, because I deleted my other one. No problem. It's not that complicated. Here's my floor plan. That's the upper floor. I'm going to pull my measurement tool. If you're not using Matterport, you are at the mercy of whoever is on site and is able to draw the floor plan. Oh, come on. 20 feet. No. Yeesh. That is so not fair. Oh, oh God. McCabe. It's got to be Friday. You know, we can work with that, actually. I'm going to do that exactly there. I'm going to show you when you're in a pinch. Then I go to photos, make sure my measurements are turned on there, and take that photo. Then I view that photo and download that photo. Let's go to the desktop. I would highly recommend you put this in the job folder so you don't lose it. But for today, that is fine. Okay, close, close, close. Going into Sketch, going into Options, Import, Import Underlay Image. I don't know what's wrong with my Xactimate, but it is just going to push enough buttons. Opening that, it's going to ask to resize. I always say yes. Make this full screen. And there's my scale. Click there. Oh, whoops. Everyone following along? Come on. I'm so sensitive. Okay, so it's not my 20 feet that I like, but it's a 19, 11. That's Xactimate speak for 19 foot 11. Boom. That looks right. That looks right. We hit OK. All right, we're into this. I'm going to make this full screen. Start zooming in. We are concentrating today on this room and the little cubby. So let's just do it. R gets you a room. Line it up best you can. Trying to figure out where that line is. I think it's right there. These walls, I'm going to make these 8-inch walls. So I just double click on this one wall. Oops. Go into properties. That's an 8-inch thick exterior wall. I can select more than one wall at a time. So there's one wall, hold down control. There's two walls. Where's my little properties button? And that is an 8-inch exterior wall. Okay. We've got another room. I'm going to use my break tool, B. Right. It's we can put in these little tiny walls after. So I'm clicking and holding, dragging there. And then before I drag this wall, I'm going to hit Control and then Boom. Let's name this room. This is the kitchen living. What is this ceiling? We know it's not 8 foot, right? So we have a properties window open. Let's come back here and look at our space. Turn our measurement tool, because we measured this yesterday, right? We said it's 15 foot. Why didn't I move that yesterday? I swear I changed that measurement yesterday, because I thought we came up with like a 15.6 number. I think we did. I'm just going to go with 15.6. So it's 15.6, but this is a peaked ceiling. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Here's our property. Oh, that's interesting. Matterport and Xactimate. So properties, that is not a box ceiling. That is a peaked ceiling. You can go to options here and see what other options you have. Sloped ceiling, box ceiling, tray ceiling has soffits. Attic. What is attic? I have no clue, actually. I don't think I've ever used that option, but this is definitely a peaked ceiling. So distance to peak, that means how far is it from the wall to the peak. I like to just look at what it comes up with first. Short wall is not 8. So our short wall is here. Let's measure it. Let's measure there to there. 11 foot 1, we're going to call it 11 foot. Short wall 11. And all the walls are going to be 11. So let's go into here. Okay. Looks like it put the peak, technically, yes, this is a weird other little peak here. You could do that with a sloped wall in a subroom. And I've seen that done, but for our purposes, I don't know if you want to hassle with it. But this is, okay, this is how you would do it. You would create a subroom, a triangle. So let's do another break tool. Actually, no, we would do this. Select this, hit Control, bring us a room out here, however far that would be, which would be, let's assume it's the same distance. From here to here-ish is 10 foot 5. Okay. $10 If you get out here and you're like, oh, I overshot it, and you don't want to mess around with your mouse, just click on that measurement, 10.5, and it should snap back to you. And what I'm going to do is put a V for vertices right in the dead center. And then I'm going to drag this one back. Oh, Control Z. Let's make this a missing wall. So I hit M for missing wall, or you can come up here. Oh, this menu's in my way. Okay, a couple questions. Let me open up questions. Will you show us how to plug in Matterport and upload the sketch? I think I just showed you. Yeah, I use a service. So I send a Matterport link to a service and they send me back a beautiful sketch. So I cheat. Okay, so tools up here. missing wall, and I just click that. Boom. Now let's see if I put a vertices, V for vertices. Let's put a vertices. Well, let me. It won't. All right. I'm going to have to manipulate this unattached. If I hit missing wall again and touch that line, it'll bring my wall back. I'm going to put a vertices there. I mean, this is ninja level Xactimate stuff. Do that and that. Now this is where it's going to be a sloped ceiling. Sloped ceiling. Short wall is 11, tall wall is 15. I thought we went 15 and a half, didn't we? I think we did 15 and a half. Let's make sure this ceiling is 15 and a half. Peak height, 15.5. Okay. I got my room, my triangle room. It's been a while since I did this, and I'm not entirely sure it's going to work. Okay. Let's see which way it put our slope at. Nope, you can see this arrow. Our slope is pointed the wrong direction. You can see that in 3D view. Yeah, that slope is cattywampus. So we select our room and go to orientation, and we put our arrow there, and that should put our slope the direction we want it, which it did. Now the trick is going to be getting these two rooms to reconnect. How am I going to do that? Can I do this? Once again, ninja level stuff. I probably shouldn't even gone here today. Gosh darn it. Shoot. All right. If I can't get it here in 20 more seconds, I'm going to move past it. We're going to call this a peaked room. Guess I can't figure out. No, it's not going to let me do it. Fine. You're dead to me. See ya. Let's bring you back. So what you would do if you had the time and everything else, make that an 8-inch wall again, is create a sub room of your main room in a triangle shape and do a sloped ceiling. That's how you would do it. But right now, we've got a peaked ceiling. We're not going to account for this funkiness right here. And in grand scheme of things, it's not going to add a whole lot. It's going to not make a big difference either way. All right, kitchen, living room. We've got our room 2. I want this to be a sub room of our living room. What sub rooms allow you to do, it spills the scope, whatever scope you use in the main room spills over into the other room. Generally not a big fan of sub rooms. People use closets as sub rooms of bedrooms, and I don't like that at all. Because a closet is a separate room, a fundamentally different room than a bedroom, and you do fundamentally different stuff. So when you're lazy and make a sub room out of a closet, I just don't like it. So as a rule, don't use sub rooms, but here we are. So this is a subgroup of kitchen living. Boom. And you see the little parentheses that appears here. And since it is a sub room and I want to treat it the same, I'm not going to show the label. That label goes away. Boom. We still have a missing wall. So M, and I come over here. I don't know if you can see this on the on there, but I'm just going with the picture, the underlay picture. There. And then there looks like the staircase. So I'm going to put a break right here. Oh, bring this out to here. And technically this is a missing wall if I am. Yeah, so you got a missing wall and a door. So I'm going to hit M there. And then back up. We have a room. Now let's put our doors in. D for doors. There's one there. There's no door here, so it's a missing wall. I'm going to hit M, missing wall. And there is a door here somewhere. If I can't see the under image, there's a little outline. Shift O is what it says here. Outline. There we go. So I'm going to put a door here, but I'm going to drag this door all the way. Is it here? Let's take a look at that's why we love Matterport. Pretty wide. Okay. So I grab the triangles and it's going out to about there. I'm going to bring this back so I can see it. Well, that put in, you put in a door of that size. Oh, come on. And it calls it an overhead door. Look what it did. It assumes that a door of that size has got to be a garage door, but it's not. Oh. So you come into the properties and tell it what kind of door it is. This is it's called a bypass, not a bifold. You can pull down the menu, sliding pocket. That's called a sliding door. Okay, fine, good enough for our purposes. Another door here, just hitting D. And these doors are similar. Let's just copy this door. Copy. Oh, first off, let's see if we get the door the right size. It's 10'8" by 7. I think it's taller than 7. Maybe not. Seven 7. But these are taller, aren't they? No, probably not. Yes, 9-foot doors. So this is a 7.5. And these doors, D. Come on. I got my wall, not the door. Come on. Let me get the door. Give me the door. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, there's the door. It is not a overhead door. It's a sliding door. And it is 9 foot tall. Okay. And I'm going to copy that and paste it right here. I can move it around. Whoop. But this door here we know is being replaced, right? So let's do that in Sketch while we're thinking about doors. Let's go up here. This is a French door. Let's do a search for French door. French double doors, exterior. These are going to be a custom item at the end of the day. So we're just doing a placeholder. Okay, there's my door. Once again, I'm going to right click and see what else it wants, suggests. Lock set, yes. Premium grade, yes. Stain and finish, large, sure. Okay. Sandwood, why not? Hit OK, and then put your door in where the door goes. And yesterday, if I remember correctly, we said we're going to reframe this wall, right? Let me show you how to do that. This, it shows a swinging door, but we can do a sliding. So here's, if I select this wall, we can go into the properties. And down here has the construction, footing and wall. We come into wall and we can pull this down and say it's framed. Actually, we decided it was CMU, right? So we're going to click CMU. Done. So let me show you what that did over here in estimate items. That put in a main level CMU block wall. That's square footage. Right. And this technically, we're only doing interior today, but technically we would want to do a full scope, right? The interior is not the only thing. We've got, we got all the exterior trim and all the siding and all that stuff. But we just don't have time to scope all of that in this class. So when I'm reframing, doing anything, decks, things like that, I like to have Sketch do it for me. And okay, so how are we looking? We got that room, that room. Do we have all our windows? No, we don't have any windows, right? Let's put our windows in. W. Oh, come on. W. Okay, fine. No, oh, my search window is still open. That's why. Okay. Now I'm in here. W? Yes. 2'6" sounds good. Let's measure these windows so we get them correct. Oh, you back up. Oh, you little bastard. Okay. This is a 3.0. Let's call it 304.5. Okay. Come back in here. We can double click on properties, tab down width 3. Base height, that's how far off the floor it is. That is fine for me. And we say 4.6. Yeah. 3.0, 4.5. Okay. And then I'm going to copy that and paste it over here. Do we have another window in that room? No, we did not. I think our sketch is good. Take a look at it, move it around. You're like, it looks just about right. Just about right. Okay. Sketch is done. What's our list say now? How we doing so far? Okay, no questions lingering. We're going to input the scope, but first we're going to take a quick break. Come back in here. Where's my Zoom menu? Meeting controls. There we are. All right. I'm going to stop my share. We are going to take a quick break and come right back. I'm going to allow you guys, I'm going to turn on talking, allow to talk. So if you guys get back in, you want to talk amongst yourselves before we get class started again, you can do that. Otherwise, I'm going to pause the recording. Be right back.
Come again?
Somebody's jamming.
Sorry about that. I've got my wife.
No worries, man. No worries. I like it. All right. How we hanging? Doing good? Any questions?
Well, I mean, I have just something to say. I mean, you're a lot more advanced, than I am anyway. I don't know about anybody else. I consider myself a novice, so it's hard to follow along. But I'm actually taking some pointers at, some of the things that you're doing to hopefully play around with Xactimate and become more, proficient. But do you suggest taking a class on Xactimate to become better, or just play with the program?
I learn by doing. So I'm, I just play, and what you see in, let me answer that question live. Come on, computer, you can do it. So what you were seeing is I was doing everything really fast, right? Because I know the keyboard shortcuts: R for room, W for window, D for door. But all those items are options if you look. Just look at your workspace and there are options there. Let me peel everybody back out of this room. And we're going to go into some preferences and set some default preferences that'll help you guys shortcut stuff. You can set defaults for door sizes, window sizes, carpet cuts, and that's what I definitely want to show you, is using sheet goods. So, all right, let's get into this. Let me show you. There, get this thing out of my way. So as you can see in all your options are up here: roof, decks, fencing, windows. You can choose what kind of window by the pull down menu, standard, picture, whatever else, flat arch, octagons if you're feeling fancy. You can customize as much as you're comfortable customizing. But at the end of the day, a square room with a flat box ceiling will handle 90% of what you're trying to do. And if your ceiling or if anything is not quite right and the adjuster calls you on it, just fix it. Or say, hey, how would you do that? It's a great opportunity to build some rapport with an adjuster. It's like, oh, well, I don't know how to do that. Can you show me? It enables you guys to start building those bonds between people. So let's go. I'm going to save and exit. And I'm going to go into preferences. So in here, your main menu, preferences. This is where you set your defaults. Priceless zip code matching. That's what caused it to ask me if I wanted to put a new zip code in when I change the zip. Labor minimums. That should be turned off. That there was a point in time where labor minimums were a viable thing to do, but they just got too politicized and misunderstood. So it's best just to leave them out. And if you're doing small jobs that you would ordinarily use a labor minimum, just put in labor hours, put in the trade hours to cover that. Additional charges, just go through, figure out, you should just click on everything. Click on, oh, we want to be in carrier because it's different. You can set your defaults differently for each profile. Okay, what else do I want to say? You can set, if you're doing, I can't do this because I handle so many different companies, but I would set your default company header as your company header. That way, you don't have to set that every time you start a new project, right? Claim rep, same thing. If you want to set the same claim rep, all this, same thing. This looks a little bit different in the contractor profile. You get to set your company header. That's all. But let me show you what I would do if I were you. So in your defaults, this is where you can change. Okay, default wall thickness 4 inches. It's probably going to be all right. Default ceiling height 8 feet. Fine. Auto calculate roof waste, please. Do not include ridge or hip. Do not include starter. That's all bullshit. These are things when we're going to put in the cabinets. We're going to tell it, a cabinet against a wall. Do you remove the square footage of the wall from the painting calculations for that cabinet? Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Door and window defaults. This is a big one. I don't know why this isn't checked. Always deduct doors and windows from your room calculations, because we put some big doors in there, right? and we're going to put in to paint these walls. Well, if we didn't deduct the square footage of that big window door, our actual square footage of paint would be off. It would not be accurate. And this is one of the things that all adjusters are trained to look for. Oh, you didn't deduct your doors and your windows. So I always set that to 0 and deduct. This is just how it visually represents. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Custom staircase. I don't even know what that means. Carpet and vinyl. Fill pieces. Change all your fill pieces to a maximum of 1. I don't like trying to use waste pieces to fill in, and I'll cover that in a second. Third-party tools, I don't know what that is. Valuation, you're not going to use valuation. All right, so there's your defaults. You should be able to set these to all users. All right, be sure before you change anything, change it to all users. Okay, now I'm going to come back in here and change my carrier, all users, defaults. Okay, door and window defaults, deduct. This shows you how many times I actually do real estimates. I have people that do that now. I'm too fancy. Okay. See, fill pieces, that's just garbage. 1. Maximum fill pieces. So let's show you what that means. What that means by that. Okay. You got your defaults. Oh, there should be a how often do you save button. Where's that at? There's a way to set how often it auto saves, and you want it as often as possible. I can't find it. So save as often as you can. Interesting. All right, let's open Sutherland back up. So flooring defaults. If you're doing rolled goods, carpet and vinyl, you want to use Sketch. I'm going to drop some carpet in here. FCCAV. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to add the pad while I'm there. Okay, I'm just dropping it. Let's look at, and you can see this is where it's got an arrow. It's pointing where, which way it's running. And you can see the cuts. You can see A, B, and C. That looks like more than that. Looks like there might be a D in there. Oh, it's using the B. So, carpet and vinyl comes in 12-foot goods, right? Sometimes more, sometimes less, but usually 12-foot goods. So this automatically calculates your linear footage you need for your roll based on 12-foot width. And it puts your cuts in. You can change the flooring orientation. So you didn't want to run it that way, which this is probably the best way to do a room like that, because you got one seam, one big seam, right? You can change the flooring orientation up top. Just click on that, and then we can go that way. And you can see now we've got a Frankenstein's monster of a flooring cut job. You got 1, 2, 3 seams. Maybe you want to do it that way. Maybe you don't. But when you do it, either way you do it, come over here, look at this. So pay attention to this calculation. FLR RPL. It did the pad by the square foot. There's 859 square foot in that room. But it's 1,167 square foot of carpet. Why? Because of the cuts, the carpet cuts, and there is waste in there. So let's 1167 is our square footage of carpet going that direction. Let's change the flooring orientation back to where it was and see if that number changed. What was the previous? It was, I think it changed. I think it went down because it's just more efficient to lay that way. So any roll goods, drop it in, and you don't have to use sketch. You could do FCV, AV, the vinyl. You could do in this calculation FLR underscore RPL. Our default is not set correctly. This is all plus. We want to do remove and replace. Priceless defaults. Okay, that's fine. So there you have it. Yeah, that's why setting your preferences for using waste is so important. I'm going to delete this, delete that, and we can come in to our sketch, and there's our vinyl. I like drop it in this way, and it handles the calculation for you. And you can see these items, we dropped this in via sketch. So this calculation references this object, this DORFRX underscore 1.EA is the object, that door object that we selected and we put down in there. When we do these cabinets, you're going to see something very similar to that. Okay, let's come back to our notes. Any questions? Nope. Okay. Input scope. Okay, who was taking notes yesterday besides me? We've got 1, 2.5 pages of scope to enter. Let's see how fast we can do that. We're going to do our cabinets visually. But before we do anything else, we're going to come in here, estimate items, grouping, and we just have the one room. So I like to keep things organized and looking similar. And I have a macro for, see, I get to clean up my macro list. This is just garbage. Room templates, room headings 6821. That's the most current one. Run, please. What that is a macro that just has F9 notes. So you can see there's a couple extra things compared to our scope note sheets, right? But this should cover almost everything that we're going to do. Doors. This door activities are going to be under finish carpet, millwork, trim, finish. That's what I'm going to put it under. And see, I just drag it in. That way it reads the same. The headers stay the same across. You're doing multiple rooms. You're going to have similar headings in each room. And then the estimate is going to flow. It's going to read much better than no headers and everything just jumbled together in whatever order it was put in. You can see there's item number 4, 6, 8, and 10. When we're done, we can come up here to project, tools, and resequence our line items. So that is prettier. Line number 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to do this again, obviously, before we're done, to reorder again to make sure our estimate flows nicely. Okay, I'm going to start the scope. You guys ready to start scope? Let's do it. We have our floor. I want to put our floor right here. You hit insert. So I selected walls. That's just an F9 note, and I hit insert. The second time I do it, it puts the insert line below it. So the first time you do it, it's going to put it there. So that allows me to put whatever here. We've got engineered flooring. So floor covering wood. Oh, floor covering wood. Oh, for crying out loud. It is Friday. If you can't remember, you don't know, just pull down the list. Just pull it down. And then you can start typing in there. We decided it was an engineered wood flooring, correct? Floating, premium grade. Or is it floating? Did we say it floating? I don't remember. Now we could do it there, or if you wanted some help, we could do it here. What was that line item? It was FCW LAMTF. A lot of times when I'm doing this, I have a notepad. I just scratch down FCW LAMTF plus. So I don't have to remember. Come back in here to sketch. And you can type that into your search, FCWLAMTF plus. There's premium grade. The reason I do it here is so I can bring out here, right click, and remind myself what else might be associated with this. We're going to do floor leveling cement. We're going to do some T-molding, high grade. And it's asking if we want to do baseboard. I'm going to do the baseboard separately. And we did have some underlayment. Let's just pick one. And since it's already in there, we already entered it, it's going to make me delete it. And then I click again and I put it in. Let's go back to our estimate items. And there it is. It put it here. And I just select them all and move it back up to flooring. Right? Okay. What else we got? Reference exterior wall at broken door. We already did that. Okay. Engineered flooring plus floor prep. I don't see floor prep. Right? We got floor leveling. We don't have floor prep. I'm going to insert. I don't remember. I don't think it's FCW. So I'm going to do search and just do floor prep. Yes, I'm going to mix SCVF. I'm going to mix vinyl and wood. Where'd it go? There it is. And you could rename this if you wanted to. You could rename it to be more accurate. But I'm not going to today. Okay, floor prep, leveler, in-floor outlets, right? Outlets, how many did we have? We had, I've got a list 6 plus 9 plus 1 plus 1. Let's come up to our electric item, hit insert, ELEOS. Now, was this detach and reset? Yes, or no, this was replace because everything was wet and humid and rusty. We're going to just say that. 6 plus 9 plus 1 plus 1. Boom. Okay. Then baseboards. Baseboard's going to be under trim. Sure. Let's do that. And then F and C base. This is big base, right? We need to figure out what big base is. Wasn't 10-inch. What was it? 9-inch. It's 8-inch-ish, 2-piece. I think we can work with that. Is there anything else in this list? Yeah, don't be afraid just to read down, see if there's something else. You can always reorder by description. Oh, for crying out loud. Where's my line item that I had chosen? There it is. Baseboard, baseboard, baseboard. Nope. Okay. Once again, if we're doing it here, we have to remember we're going to paint that baseboard too. But that's fine. There's our baseboard. Is there a cap? I'm just going to cap. And I'm going to look for code, FNC code. FNC base cap. Look at that. The beauty of search. Here's my base cap. Boom, boom. Now I'm going to paint it. PNT. Oh, come here. PNT base, oversized, 2 coats. And then PNT QR. Nope. Where's quarter round? It's a shoe. That's yeah, paint shoe. Once again, I know it because I know it, but you're gonna have to search for that stuff. Base shoe. Okay, we still good? Everyone catching up? All right, I'm hustling. We got a half hour to get this sucker done. Okay, we got our outlets, we got our cap, we got paint, we got a switch. I got one switch, but I know there's more. I'm gonna wait on switching. Okay, now we're into the walls. Let's go into our walls. Insert. PNT mask. We're gonna mask first. Linear foot. What did I say? I said printer of floor times 2 plus printer of ceiling. Okay, PNT SP. Oh, we forgot cleaning. Yep, I gotta clean all that stuff first. We're not gonna do. We're gonna do walls and ceilings separate. Yes, we should, because I told you you need to seal and paint walls. And ceiling, we're going to remember how to do that. Let's get our cleaning done first, though. We could put it in cleaning down here, or we could just put it in walls. I'm going to put it in walls because that's where we're concentrating on. So we're going to CLN AV walls, and then CLN OP. We said 5 openings. Oops. Oh, for crying out loud. Fine. CLN OP greater than. Nope. Large. Nope. Oh, there's got to be. See, I didn't know that one. Where is it? Door win opening. Where's our large? Reorganize. What? I thought there was a large one. Maybe not. All right, fine. We're going to put in 10 openings. We're going to clean then. Right? Okay. Now we got our openings. Let's clean our doors. Seal in doors. We had what, 3 in there? I guess, no, we had more than that. 1. Well, we had 3 regular doors. CLN DOR. There's a large one in there too. I know there is. I would use the clean door detail with a smoke job, fire job. But all right, we're running out of time. I can feel the clock ticking. So clean door, which can I do? Let's do 6 doors. And so openings, doors, CLN window. We had 2 of those. And then paint openings. We had 2 doors and 2 regular windows. That's 4. And then I know there's a PNT opening large. And we had 1, 2, 3 of those large openings. HVC. I'm just going down my list now, doing registers. Register mechanically attached. We're not going to replace it. We're going to detach and reset it. And there were 3 of those. Is there a large one of those? Nope. Well, let's do that. Let's do 3 of those. Paint mask. Okay, and then we got our drywall. Let's do that drywall via sketch. Let's come in here. We know it's this wall, right? So I'm going to come in here, DRY, 1/2, hung tape floated, ready for paint. Fine. And I just select that there. I don't know if you can pick this up. That won't let me do it, but I moved my cursor a little bit in, and there's a green line. There's a green line around the whole room, or if I go closer, there's a green line just on that wall. And I click that and it says placed on wall surface. So Xactimate has that wall surface as wall surface number 19. I'm gonna bring that up to walls. Okay, so we got our paint, got our outlets, got our cleaning, HVAC registers. Let's get into cabinets. This is where I like to use Sketch for cabinets. And we've got the underlying our image underlay for cheating purposes. So I'm going to do a CABLOW. This brings up all my options. I'm going to call this a deluxe grade because it's on a fancy island in the middle of the Atlantic. And I'm going to just put my cabinet right there. That's a lower. I'm going to rename that lower. And then I'm going to make it the size I need it. Now we decided there was another, 1.5 feet off the end of this thing. Let's call it 11.6 total. I'm not sure if the width of the cabinet matters. It's usually done by the linear foot. But you can see once we get in here, that created a box. Inside this box, I can tell it whether or not to remove the flooring. See, remove square foot area under. It says yes. I'm going to say no because that flooring runs underneath. If I leave that yes, it's going to take that square footage of that flooring out of my room calculations, and I don't want that to happen. Same thing with all that. You can tell it to remove the square footage linear feet for baseboards, remove linear feet behind, or all that stuff. Look at these, play with them, just get familiar with what goes into all this stuff. There's my lower, and I'm going to copy that and paste it and put my lower here. Now, did we decide? Let's just take a look over here. Yeah, it's just lowers. We're going to accommodate for this range. Now we're buying a new range. Let's put in a new range in our sketch. Gas range. Gas range large. High grade. I'm sure that's more than an $8,600 range, but this will help us. The reason I want to do this is because I wanted to just use this as a placeholder to measure my cabinets around. There. And I renamed it range just so it's visually appealing. I should have made my cabinet smaller before I copied and pasted it, but that's fine. We said 2'6" here, I believe. Boom. Okay, and there's no lowers there. We do have a refrigerator. APPRFRS, I believe. There it is. Boom. And there's our refrigerator. Oh. Tab allows you to spin it. Oh, and I keep spinning too far. Put that sucker there. There. So this lower, we're going to fudge this a little bit. I think that refrigerator is bigger than what Xactimate's given us, but we got to accommodate that. So we got our lowers in. Let's do our uppers. CAB, UP, and I'm going to do deluxe grade. And I'm going to put them right here. I'm going to rename it. Do we have more than one row of uppers? Not that I know of, right? Just one row all the way to the wall. Okay. Just bring that all the way there. And you can see this lower needs to go all the way. It presents very nicely. It's just a very nice way to visually present. And it's hard to argue with your measurements when you do it graphically. Let's put in our hood, range, hood. Let's look for commercial range hood. Do a search. Oh dear. This is a range hood oversized. Fine, that'll work. But we put that into our sketch for spacing. But this was built into their uppers. Now we're doing countertops. CAB countertop and search. Did we say concrete? We didn't decide yesterday, did we? I'm going to call it concrete. Concrete countertop. Let's right click on here to see if there's anything else. Nope. Nothing really important to add. And I put that right there. And I rename it counters. Oh, I renamed the wrong thing. Well, I'm going to rename it island. This is my counter. And I copy and paste. Oh, copy, paste, and put my counter there and a counter there. And then I resize them. And I just cover up my lowers with my counters. Depending on the countertop, you might want to do a subdeck. This one probably would not have a subdeck. I mentioned in panels, didn't I? Let's do a search for in panels. End panels. Cabinet in panels, premium grade. And I'm just going to click done. I love being lazy. Okay. We got most of our cabinets stuff. I'm going to move the cabinets up to cabinets, cabinetry. Insert CAB knobs, cabinet knob or pull. Pull down the menu because these are not ordinary knobs or pulls. These are fancy deluxe grade. What number did we come up with? 20. Okay. So I got our cabinets, lowers, uppers, counters. Let's do our appliances. I like to put appliances in equipment subtrades. We already have our refrigerator, right? Here's the 2 appliances right here, APP and another one, APP. I'm going to drag that up here. So here we have, we have a range, a refrigerator. We need a dishwasher. Are we replacing it? Yes. Premium grade dishwasher, done. APP, microwave. Built in, yes, no, maybe. Once again, be the butcher. Don't fall in love with the meat. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just has to be done. Get it done and get it out the door. It's not an over built-in double oven. No, no, no. Whatever. I'm just going to use it because I can't find anything else quick enough. Okay, stove, microwave, ice maker. Ice machine. There we go. No, not an ice machine. Ice maker, built in, high grade. We'll take that. They're getting all new appliances in here. Dishwasher. I had 2, but I don't think there is. I have a under plumbing. I'm gonna go here, insert. Nope. Insert. Think APP disposal, GD, garbage disposal. There we go. And that's a nice one. Still going down my list. We got the hood, we got the gas range. What we don't have is ice maker line or water line. So water line. Every refrigerator with an ice maker has this. Appliance water line. We're going to use just that, but there's another item associated with that. Go in here, click on this. It's a exclude shut-off control valve. So we need, there's another line item for refrigerator water. There's a box. There's a box that goes in there. It's under PLM. Water line. Nope, nope, nope. There it is. Refrigerator, ice maker, water supply box with valve. Okay. What are we going to do with this place once we take everything out? We got to cap these lines, right? So let's cap. Cap, water. There we go. Water line, copper cap, plug per cap. Ooh, I like that. $50, $45. How many do you think we got? We got dishwasher, sink, has 2, ice maker, refrigerator. I'm counting 6. 6 caps. Okay, moving on down, moving to backsplash, backsplash. Let's do the backsplash in, well, we measured it, right? Yeah, let's measure it. Okay, here we go. Where would you put backsplash? Just choose, I'm gonna do walls. Insert. Yeah, we're coming to 10 minutes left. Okay, I'm gonna skip scope. I think you guys get the idea of how this happens. We just keep going down. This built-in entertainment center, I'm gonna do that graphically as well. All right, we're gonna put this on the other side of the room. And we decided yesterday to call it a full height cabinet. So CABFH is full height, and it is a deluxe grade. And we're going to put that sucker right here. Rename it Entertainment Center. And then just boom. Whatever that measurement is. If you want to go for extra credit, detach TV. Yeah. Shoot, never mind. That's going to be under contents. It's all right. Okay, so you got, yeah, there's scope items we didn't put in. But I wanted to cover the cabinets, ceiling, the RC trim. That's a funky little item. We have LIT RC recessed light fixture T trim only, and we are going to detach and reset. And there's, how many of those did we say? 18 of those. That adds up quick. Anything else, just use the search function. You're not going to know everything, especially, I mean, I know it looks like I'm moving really fast and I'm covering a lot of ground. Because I've done this so much. I know the shortcuts and the codes. You're going to spend a lot of time over here in search. You're going to spend a whole lot of time. You know, how do I do a hanging light? Well, type in hanging light and see what comes up. If it doesn't come up in this short little search, hit the search button. It gives you a longer list. And then you can go through there. You can order it by code or order it by description. Okay. Yeah, speaker system the same way. And just search for speaker system. We're going to paint this ceiling while we're here, but you know, for today, we're just plain out of time. But let's look at general conditions. Let's come back here, pretend we got all our scope input. I'm going to come back in here to items, grouping, general conditions. Yesterday, we said we need a storage container, right? So storage container, I think it's CPS. I can't remember. So I'm going back here to search. Storage. See what comes up. Job site storage container. So CON. I'm going to come over here and go CON. Contents. Actually, I think it's CPS. CPS. Content packing and storage. And just come down. Job site. There we go. Job site cargo storage container. I like the job site moving storage container because it's more expensive. We're going to put a 20-footer in there. Ice maker box, yes. Angle stops, yes. P-trap, flex line, yes. All that should have been listed in our scope yesterday. 1000%. That's where those P-traps are going to add dollars to your Those little things add revenue. They add, they make the difference between a loser and a winner of a job, as far as profit margin goes, because you're going to do it, but not everyone knows to charge for it. So yeah, all those things. Angle stops, there's about what, 9 in that kitchen. Okay, so we got a moving container, and yesterday we said 12 months, but we need to get that delivered, fee, and I use DEL, delivery charge, and I rename storage unit. And for something like this, it's going to be $1,000. It's going to be $1,500 to get this thing to that island. Oh, it's wanting me to edit the price list. So I'm using a price list that's not editable. That's fine. Temp toilet, TLT, another 12 months. Supervisor hours. Okay, this I definitely want to address. Okay, so project management, supervision. We had a generator, we had a final clean. I like to put my final cleans in the main level. If we had more than one room, let's just add a room. And add a room. Just for square footage wise. So we add a couple rooms. If I come in here to main level and I do a CLN final F, that calculation F picks up the whole square footage of that entire level. As opposed to putting it per room, you could do it, but this is a shorter cut, and it separates it enough. It's harder to pick apart. You're going to have to do a final clean. Might as well put it there. Supervisory hours. So what I do is I calculate how many hours this job's going to take. And then I calculate from that with a crew of 4, how many days this project's going to take. And then I add 2 or 3 hours of supervision per day a crew is going to be on that job. But here is how you find that labor number. You want to do what's called a components report. You do a print, there's final draft. If I'm sending anything to anyone, I always do a rough draft. But for our purposes, we're not done yet. We want to do a components report and take a look at, we don't need a sketch. We don't need any of this. We don't need that. We're just going to view it. This is everything that Xactimate believes it's going to take to do this project. There's the components, more components. There's the equipment. We didn't have a lot in it, but here is the labor. Xactimate thinks there's 317 hours of labor, which for that room, may or may not be right. We didn't input all our scope, right? This is just for educational purposes. So I'm going to go 317 hours, 317.45. Where's my calculator? So I do my 317.45 divided by 8. That gets me 39.68 days. So I'm going to round it to 40 days. That's 40 man days. But if there's a crew of 4, divided by 4, that gives me 9.9. So let's go 10, what I call crew days. So for every crew day, something like this, we're going to do 3 hours of supervision. So 10 crew days times 3 hours, that's 30 hours of supervision, right? Simple enough, right? The trickiest part is getting to this report and figuring out what this hours mean. So what this hours means, the crew of 4 is 10 days. This is a 10-day project. It's going to take longer than that. So if you want to fudge it, let's go. Okay, the hours gave us 10. We're going to add a couple days. Let's go 12 days for fun. And then times 3 is 36 hours of supervision. So general conditions, LAB super residential, and I'm going to do 36 hours. And then what I do for the adjuster is tell them how I arrived at that number. Total project is 318 hours, which equals about 12 days. 3 hours of supervision per day. Done and done. That gets you very justifiably another $5,100 or $4,200 before over OMP. Now, project management, I would add for something like this, I would do project management as well. The line item is going to be the same. I don't know if there's a better way to do it. Maybe. Maybe you do supervisory hours using CLNS. Yeah, let's do that. That gives us, let's go 36. Okay. And we do the same. We just copy that. Copy. Go into this F9 note, paste. There's my supervision. And this I'm going to change to project management. And I think there's going to be 2 hours per day per crew day. So I'm going to go 2 times 12. Because there's estimating time. There's time talking to the adjuster. There's time negotiating. There's time talking to subs, right? So this supervision is this line 66. That's job. That's direct to job supervision. This line is everything else that's not done on the job, but has to do with the job. I think it's very easy to justify on a job like this. That's what, $6,000 worth of supervision. Easy. That's 36 plus 24, 50, 60 hours. 60 hours of supervision on a 320-hour job. Very justifiable. In my opinion, that's a no-brainer. Okay, so you can find a clean power hookup, all that stuff we could put in there. I like to put negative air. I've got a macro for OSHA. You're going to love this one. You guys have a copy of it. So OSHA required equipment. Look what this says. Maintaining acceptable indoor environmental quality during construction and renovation projects. This is directly from NIOSH. You must install and maintain construction walls and barricades and additional ventilation to keep the renovation and construction areas under negative air pressure relative to the occupied office area. Isolate work areas from occupied areas using physical barriers, negative pressurization, blah, 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 blah. This means use, this is, and you got to adjust this to, how many days did we say? 10, 12, we said 12 days. Adjust it, but you put, it's got the HEPA filter, but not the neg air. That's interesting. Well, that's a bummer of a macro, but that's fine. And we're going to go 12 days. Another $1,700, perfectly justifiable. The guy's got to breathe, right? And that's not to mention there's COVID. People are going overboard on the COVID stuff, but N95s cost money. So put in for N95s. Put in a COVID precaution, section in your general conditions, and then figure out what makes sense for your business to do. All right. So let's finish up our stick to the plan. Okay. So labor minimums we didn't use. Blah, blah, blah. Resequence line items. Project, tools, resequence. And then we can print it. Print the PDF. I can do that. Print, rough draft, cover sheet, summary. You don't need recap by room, recap by category, yes. Closing statement, yes. Images, yes. Sketch, yes. Let's view that to see what it looks like. There we go. We just wrote $172,000 worth of repairs. And that was just one room. And here's our breakdown. Here's our image report, all that stuff. Okay. Uh-oh. Did I save it? Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm going to save it right now. Save. Okay, let's print that sucker. Export PDF. I'm going to just export it to the desktop. And then what I would do if I were you, close this, and drag this. Just click and drag, put that in a file. The PDF and the ESX right next to each other. If you use a custom price list, go find it. I think we used this one. Drag that price list out, put that with the file as well. Oh, it didn't let me do that. It should. Oh, come on. It's just in a bad mood today. All right, I'm stopping sharing. Let's open it. Let's open it up. Oh, we lost a couple of people. All right, folks. You just watched me write $172,000 worth of estimate in about an hour and a half. But you take what we did yesterday, right? 2 hours, and then on-site prep time. All in, this is going to take you some time, right? It's going to be 5-6 hours of time, from start to finish if you're doing the inspection and doing all your sketching and stuff like that. But you will get faster. Things will be faster. But the key is to get into the program and mess around with it. You can't break it. So you can always start from scratch. You can always Control Z to undo. You get into something and the sketch isn't working right. You can always delete rooms. It's a pain in the butt sometimes, but that's it is what it is. So questions?
No questions for me.
Okay. You will have all the macros that I just showed you. You're going to have that stick to the plan list I just showed you. You've got all that in the documents. You have access to the Facebook group, and I will have notifications turned on for anything that happens in that group. So if you ask a question to the group, I should get notified and I can hop in and answer your question if somebody else doesn't answer it for you. I invite you to look for the Restoration Rebel Facebook page and get into that, it's just a great resource. We start a cat related group, kind of a subgroup of that Rebel page for every cat. We have one going right now for Ida. And that allows us to coordinate a little bit on a national level for resources and manpower and things like that. What else? What else you need to know? It's all changeable. I invite you to change your pricing. Look at the pricing. Does the Xactimate off-the-shelf pricing make sense for your business needs? Do you have a profitability goal, right? What's your net profit goal? And what is your business overhead? If you don't know what your business overhead is as a percentage of your total revenue, you need to get with your accountant and figure that out. Because if you're running a 20% overhead and you're not marking up your work properly, you're not making money, right? You're very welcome, Keegan. And it looks like she jumped off already.
Hey, Andrew.
Yeah.
So for me, this was a great, experience to watch you work on a reconstruction of, a project. Of course, mitigation is a lot different, but it is what it is. I mean, it's not going to change much. I'm just curious, what software do you find, or app, whether it's Mika or Moisture Mapper, like what do you think integrates best with Xactimate and Matterport?
Great question. I don't know if there's a decent one yet. I've used Encircle, I've used Mika. I don't think I've used Moisture Mapper. They all say they integrate into Xactimate, but it's cumbersome at best. I don't know if I haven't seen the Accelerate software. That's out of Arizona, but I don't know if there is one yet. There's got to be a solution, besides the paper version. I mean, I came up with a paper version because that was the simplest solution I could find. Because Micah, it concentrates on equipment calculations, and it'll give you equipment lists into Xactimate, but equipment is only half of what your total bill is going to be.
Right.
And if I talk about the $1,000 hour. If your mitigation technicians are working efficiently and according to a plan and working fast and efficient, they should be making your company $1,000 an hour. And that $1,000 an hour doesn't come from equipment. Some of it does, but most of it's masking and covering and content manipulation and extraction. You'd be amazed how many people they cut their own throats by saying, "Oh, I extracted 8 square feet." No, you didn't. You extracted half the room, right? Or you extracted the whole room. Don't short yourself on this nitpicky stuff, because at the end of the day, adjusters aren't going to say you pulled out 11 square feet of drywall instead of 15, because no one's really counting that. So whatever system you choose, it needs to help your technicians do their job. And right now, Moisture Mapper, Micah, that doesn't help your technician do their job. It's a nuisance. It's an addition to their regular duties. It doesn't assist them. It doesn't make them better. It doesn't make them more efficient. It doesn't help them pick up the dollars that are laying on the ground. So I haven't found one yet, on the mitigation side.
Okay.
Unfortunately. But I'd like to get with Job Docs and get the 24-hour tech put into a digital format, because I think that's, if you haven't seen it, it's in the paperwork, but it's a 20-step process, and it's dummy proof, but it ensures you're checking all the boxes and you're doing all the stuff that'll make you money. I do a course, a 24-hour tech course. I give it to folks that want to train their technicians. And I put up a sheet of plastic right on a wall, and I say that 8x12 sheet of plastic that's covering cabinets or whatever it is, that equals a DHU for a day. That's or an air mover for a day. That's $32 worth of plastic. When the air mover is $26, right? So if I'm masking this whole room, I've got more money in billable masking than I do in equipment, oftentimes. But the systems that we have, Micah doesn't tell you to cover and protect, and definitely doesn't tell you how to document that, so you can make money with it. But if you don't document it, you can't list it on your invoice, and you can't get paid for it. And that's my problem with all the existing software. They're concentrating on the equipment. They're so tunnel vision onto equipment calculations and placement. Well, that's part of the job. It's an important part, but it's not the whole job. Oftentimes we go in and do demo, extract, demo, clean, and it's mostly dry, right? We're drying by demolition. We're removing the wet materials. So there's nothing left to dry. We got, maybe a day or two of drying equipment. We made the most of our money on the demo, on the stuff that the physically stuff we did. So if you're not making $1,000 an hour per man, you're not doing something right. You're leaving something out. Yeah, mitigation should be so profitable. You want a copy of the Xactimate I just wrote? Sure. Why not? Yeah. Why don't, what's the best way to do that? I'm just going to drop it into the class resources. And I'm going to put it in the Sutherland project. Oh, there's another one right there. So you can look at that one too. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. You can't see what I'm doing. It's in there. It's in there now. There. And just one more time, I'm going to put a link, share, copy, and here it is in the chat. Boom.
And one last question for me, I'm just curious, because obviously you work all across the country and, remote islands like the Bahamas, like you said, but do you fly to all these places and do the Matterport documentation yourself in capturing, or do you hire somebody to go do that? And, you just go off of the visual effects of, what you see on your computer to create an estimate?
Transitioned. I've transitioned. I came to the realization, the 5.5 million claims that were filed overnight in Texas this year changed a lot of people's games, and it changed my game. So I flew in to Houston for a client who was just buried in work.
Okay.
And I brought my Matterport camera, and that's what I was doing. So I was going house to house, scanning and scoping. But between houses, the scan was being uploaded to Matterport. I would send my scope to my writers, who were just behind a desk back here in Oregon. Actually, they're in Washington. And they were writing as soon as that Matterport was done. They were doing their takeoff and doing their underlay and getting to work. When I got back, I had other clients call me, "Hey, are you still in Houston? I need this done. I need that done." And I had the realization that I can find somebody that's cheaper than me to do the Matterports.
Right.
And that's what I'm doing now. I'm finding local service providers, guys that are doing this for real estate agents. These guys are working for peanuts. I can't touch their price because I'm just too expensive. I have too much experience. I have to charge too much for my time, where I can hire it out and still mark it up and make money, but get the job done much more efficiently. So a hotel this was in San Antonio. I had a hotel come up. They needed it scanned, 5 floors, like 65,000 square foot. I would have charged 20 cents a foot. That would have been like a $14,000, $15,000 scan just to scan it if I were doing it. And I got it done for $3,500. So finding subs at this point, it's all about just finding a guy that can do it. with a camera. That's what I'm doing in New Orleans right now. I've already hired out 3 jobs, but I do have people on the ground as well because it's just all hands on deck right now. There's so much work. So I've got 2 cameras on the ground in New Orleans scanning. I've got a crew doing moisture mapping. So that's a long answer to your question. I can, and I do often fly myself there and do the do. But more and more lately, I'm finding ways to get it done remotely.
Well, no, I appreciate that insight. And, more importantly, I mean, you obviously are for investing, the $2,400-$2,500, whatever it is, for that Matterport camera to have it.
For sure.
Okay.
Well, it depends on, are you doing mainly commercial work? Are you doing mainly smaller residential?
Both, but mostly commercial.
Okay.
It's
Then,
been
yeah,
asked to take pictures and tag them. And
yeah, you want a Pro 2. You want to get the Pro 2 camera. Right now it's on sale for like $2,800 with all the accoutrement. I've got a link actually. Let me give you my Amazon link to that. Excuse me. Class resources, Matterport Pro 2 kit. Here we go.
well, the way I see it, it's a time saver for one. And like you said, two, it's, not going to go to litigation or, you're not getting sued, because I hear that, there's a good 10% to 20% chance that if you're doing faulty work, it's not a good thing.
And right now, everything is going to appraisal. I mean, I think carriers right now are using appraisal as another delay technique to delay paying claims properly. And the appraisals that I'm working that the contractor's done a Matterport scan on are so easy and so hard to argue with. The opposing adjusters just go, okay, looks like your number's good. Where if you leave it on the appraisers to do their own takeoff, essentially, to come up with their own estimate and their own drawing and all that stuff, it's a crapshoot. You don't know the quality of, if you have a high quality estimator doing your estimating and you came up with a good number you felt for the client, for the insured, but then it goes appraisal and you can't pass that data on to the appraisers. There's no guarantees. I mean, there's no guarantees on anything, but having a Matterport scan is just so good for so many different reasons. So many.
No, I'm a believer and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, I think that's it. It's
Andrew,
been great. Yeah, go
Is that
ahead.
the camera you have?
Yeah, I've got a Pro 2 and I've got the oh my bad. I've got two of these. So when I'm traveling and I know I'm not doing big commercial stuff, I'll just do it with the Insta.
But didn't you say the app in your phone, if it's an iPhone 12, would be just as good as the Insta?
Yep, right there. Yep. Well, not just as good. This is clunky. This is clunky. This is more just point and shoot, done for you. Yeah, this requires you to you keep it in one spot, and it's got a guide, but you click on one point and then you got to rotate, click on the next point, and you got to rotate, click on the next point. And if you're too far right, if your pivot point is too far away, you get misalignment. It's a real pain in the ass to deal with this. You can do it. It's just a pain in the ass. Where this, you click, done. Move it, click, done. Move it, click, done. So yeah, if you're going to go that route, you can use the iPhone 12 or Pro or the Samsung 21, the S21 in a pinch, but don't use that as your main camera.
Okay. But either way, you have to, do the monthly subscription, whatever it is, to, you know, to utilize.
Yeah. Well, my clients use my Matterport account.
So you can actually share that?
Technically.
I understand.
I haven't reviewed the user agreement recently.
You're being recorded, so you don't. I understand.
At the end of the day, it's my work product. I'm working on the estimate, and I need the scan in my account anyway. So it's like me hiring someone to go do it. Only I don't have to hire someone to go do it. My client does it for me. So I think I'm good. I mean, I don't think Matterport's going to come after me.
No.
But it also it makes it easier. It's just onboards easier for my clients because they don't have to commit to that $50 a month, $60 a month right away. All they have to do is get the equipment, and then they can test it out. And if it doesn't work, if they find it doesn't work with their workflow, it's no harm, no foul. And they got a nice camera out of the deal. But if they decide they want to use it more and they're going to go in depth, and they'll get their own account. They'll start hosting their own spaces. So I try to be that good in between to just give people a leg up into it.
Well, I'm curious. Have you ever subcontracted Matterport to do your Xactimate after you sent them the scope of work and the sketch? Just for a trial, I guess, to see how they do.
For the sketch?
Well, no, because I mean, there's an option for you to pay for them to actually do the Xactimate estimate. No, they're sketch only. They will do an Xactimate sketch file for you. Okay.
It's called the True Plan product, and they charge a premium for it. I can get it done for cheaper. Okay,
but bottom line is you still have to do your own Xactimate estimate. They don't do that.
Yeah, they don't flesh it out. You get a box. Yeah, you get a skeleton, you get a sketch. And even that is not as good as what I get done. See, I use a service called Right Loss. I'm not afraid to say that. If you want to look them up, you can. So Right Loss will sketch, and they'll put objects in. They'll put my cabinets in. They'll put my vanities in. They'll put my doors and windows and correctly size them. Where Matterport, they may put the doors correctly sized and windows correctly sized, but you're not going to get any cabinets. You're not going to get any vanities. You're not going to get any of that extra stuff that I'm going to put it in. I just like the fact that somebody else is going to do it for me. Saves me a lot of time.
No, I agree. And, I'll take your number down and call you because of the volume of work that we are potentially getting. I mean, I can't handle it by myself. So, is that your cell phone that you had on the?
Here. There. Or I think I got that right. Yep. All right. I'm gonna stay on, but I'm gonna end this recording. It's great having you guys. It's been awesome. I'm looking forward to the next one. I'll see you in the Facebook group. Boom. Okay. You guys want to see the most complicated sketch I didn't have to write?
Yes.
Yeah. So wait, did you sub it out to somebody?
I did. I spent $1,500 on Matterport True Plan. It was called True Sketch then. Let's pull it up. Okay.
Is that last number your cell phone, Andrew?
That's correct.
Okay. That 6151 ending on 651, is that your
That's it. That'll come to the same phone, but it's my Google Voice number.
Okay.
I have one of those too. They're the best.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have that number forever, but texting and stuff like that, it's just easier using the cell.
Yeah.
Where's my archive? Did I delete it? No, come on. I might as well share. Let's share.
I think Ivan and I are the only ones hanging around.
That's fine. That's fine. Where is it? Where is it? There. I just saved the one room out of this hotel. This is the Grand Coronado, San Diego. But
God, you're all over the place.
can you imagine trying to put this in Xactimate?
No.
I couldn't either. I mean,
That's-
look, you got 20-foot ceilings, you got all these facets, you got a different ceiling height here, you got a step up, you got all these little thingamajiggers here.
Actually,
But Andrew, do you
I
ever
could,
feel like? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Ivan.
actually, I could do it. I'll just call
Well-
my buddy. I'll just call my friend Andrew to handle it.
No, but my question is, Andrew, do you ever like feel that you have to double check the measurements, or you just are that confident with Matterport that they're within an inch or two?
I don't feel the need to get that detailed.
Okay.
Pennies for the dollar.
Hotel Coronado. There it is.
So I've been really confused because I thought that Xactimate did, that Matterport did a different service. I haven't looked into them too much until.
No, they don't write anything.
Not-
They don't write a thing. Here's the Grand Hall. No, that's a different building. We spent a lot of money. I was with ATI when I did this. They spent a ton of money on my behalf getting this sketched. So we scanned this whole thing. Come on, where is it? Grand Ballroom. Boom. So there it is. I mean, yeah, there's no, these things here, these little half walls here. Yes, technically they have a little, fanciness to them, but for our purposes, this was just fine.
Do you know how long that scan took for that room?
I scanned this in 2 hours and they had it back to me the next day in Xactimate. It would have taken me a week to do this.
No, absolutely. Jesus.
I mean, there's just, so if for me, it was a trade-off. It was do I spend a week of my time and labor, or do I just get it done? And I said, I'm gonna get it done.
And that cost you $1,500?
This room, I think, was $750.
Jeez.
But
No, that was just the sketch though, right?
That was
You then
just
had to
this.
then you had to plug in all the items.
Yeah. And I didn't end up plugging in anything. I just handed this off to another person at ATI who did it.
A room that size, how long would it take you to enter all the items necessary?
I think it'd go quick because, it looks complicated, but there's not a whole lot of stuff there.
Mostly furniture.
Right.
Right. I mean, this is just, in the scope, let's say the scope was the carpet and maybe some painting. That's what, 6 line items?
Content removal, furniture, heavy furniture removing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter if it's 1,000 square foot or 100 square foot, it's going to take the same amount of time. I think all these are sub rooms.
Do you have a rule of thumb per se that if you're X square foot and you're going to source out the sketch?
No, my rule of thumb is, can I get it done quicker? You know, what else do I have to do with my time? That's what I do, the opportunity cost. And right now it's what I do. I concentrate on getting a good scope together and packaging that up and then shipping it and letting somebody else do the data entry and somebody else do the sketching. And then it comes back and I do look at it, I review it, but I'm not taking a tape measure at any of this stuff. The sketch is what the sketch is. If an adjuster wants to call me out and say your square footage is off, I'll be fine. Okay, show me.
Yeah, go there and do it. Right.
Yeah. Oh, you want to? Okay, you go to San Diego and tell me where I'm off.
Right.
You know, because that's fine. I'm not in love with it, man.
But having that Matterport scan then too is just creates such a backbone.
Yeah, and you share it with them.
Yeah.
They're not going to use it. They're going to just see it and go, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. It's just, it makes you look so. Let me see if can I get you
So
guys?
you feel that Matterport sets you apart from the competition as like a small company like me?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I can't get you guys in here to see you. Oh, there I can. There, let's do that. Let's do that. Now I bet